is the Buddhist way, Buddhist Budapest way.
They've been talking about the way I do what I do. They heard I was good, they wanna see it through.
We'll run to the future, shining like diamonds in a rocky world. Rocky world, skin like bronze, hair like cashmere, as it runs to the rhythm on the dance floor.
How did you feel about the baths, Becca?
I'm so relaxed right now.
Yay!
I loved all the men in Speedos.
They were lovely. So we went to the Terror Museum, the House of Terror, this morning, which was a really good experience, if that's a way you can describe it. It was a really, really horrible museum in a good way. It was really sad. It was really informative about the history of Hungary. It covered from about just after the First World War till about 10 years after the Second World War, and it was about Germany occupying the country, the policies and regimes in place, and then communism coming over and the Soviets. And the museum itself was the original building that was like the Soviet centre of Budapest, and in the cellars, in the basements of the museum was the actual rooms of the actual cells, the execution rooms. It was a really horrible kind of place to be, but it was really good at the same time. So if you're in Budapest, you should go, because you know, it's really interesting to see the history of a place and how it's shaped the country. I love history, and it was amazing but horrible at the same time. But on a happier note, me and Becca, after we finished at the museum at around 12 maybe, so we made our way towards the thermal bath place. We got there and we spent a really long time there. It was so relaxing. It had an outdoor pool area, which was the only bit I could film because I didn't want to take my camera through to like to go inside. You had to walk through water, and I was not taking my camera. There was inside proper baths, not swimming pools, with different temperatures. Some had like menthol in it so you could breathe it in and it was good for your lungs. There were saunas, steam rooms. It was amazing. It was so relaxing. But yeah, and then we got back to the hotel and then popped out to try and find some food. We found this really good place. It's quite difficult to find places that do traditional Hungarian food. I think probably because it's just quite touristy, and I'm not quite sure why, but basically we found this place and we both ordered each. We got a pizza each, a bowl of chips and 2 drinks each, and that came to around just under 3,000 forints, which is about £7 in English money, which is obscenely cheap. The agenda for tomorrow: we're going to the Applied Arts Gallery in the morning, and then popping to the market really quickly that we visited the other day. If we have time, I really want to see the supposed real Dracula's grave. about seeing Dracula's tombstone?
Scared me to death. I feel like a 2-year-old.
Keep making me laugh. Let's go get high. The road is long, carry on. Try to have fun in the meantime. Come and take a walk on the wild side. Let me kiss you hard in the pouring rain. You like your cousin say. So choose your last words. This is the last time. 'Cause you and I, we were born to die.
So this morning we went to the Applied Arts Gallery, and basically it's this massive, amazing building with a glorious roof, and it's got these like white arches and stuff, and basically it's got a couple of exhibitions on it, but its main theme is Islamic art. The top floor is all about kind of Turkish art from around the 1400s. It's just a beautiful exhibition. There were other ones with like ceramics and some modern ones, but I really loved the Islamic one. It had like an old war tent that would have been for like an important general to stay in the battlefields. It had swords, textiles, window frames, rugs, armour. It was just amazing. So we found this cute little place called Anna's Cafe and got a drink there. And then we made our way across the river to try and find Dracula's tombstone. That was interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be half as scary as it was. But basically there's these dungeons that run through Budapest. It's called the Labyrinth, and they go on for miles and miles underneath the city. And basically around in the 1400s, the Count Dracula was imprisoned there because he had a disagreement with the king over something, I'm not quite sure what, and he was in there for 12 years, and then when he got out he discovered that his lover Justina had committed suicide from the grief of his absence, and that drove him insane, and so he became an incredibly cruel man, and there was lots of murders and cruelty and horrible stuff like that, and that's where the rumours of him being a bloodsucker came from. And then he was assassinated, and I'm not sure if it was his real tombstone. They had kind of like a fake one, but there was a little room off to the side that was fenced off, and like you couldn't really look into it, which looked like a genuine, really old, creepy tomb, and that freaked me out. And they were playing, it got darker and darker, and they had these mannequins playing out the scene of the story as you went in, and then it had chains of genuine things that like kept people imprisoned. And it was playing opera, which echoed around all the tombs, and you could hear it, and it was just incredibly creepy. Becca was terrified, and I had to be the brave one to like go around the corners first and all of that. But it was really, really good. We had a reservation as a group with this really nice restaurant. We went back to the Amigo bar, which we went to on the first night. Because we were exhausted and have a massive day tomorrow, I've come back to sleep. Me and Becca have walked miles and miles and miles. It has been ridiculous. My feet have never hurt so much.
This is not a flattering.
Hi, Ollie.
You're on the video.
We'll run to the future, shine like diamonds in a rocky world, rocky world. Skin like bronze, hair like cashmere, as it runs to the rhythm.